Hi all, this following footage you're about to see was filmed before the COVID-19 outbreak. I hope you're all staying home and staying safe. Please enjoy the video. Hey guys, Bailey here from Carp and welcome back to another video. Feels a bit strange saying that after nearly 2 years of not posting. I'm sorry, however my school and GCSEs took, well, priority really. I had to get the grades needed to then come to the college that I wanted to. Now those are over with, I can now finally sit down and talk to you in this lockdown period about an awesome trip we had to the land of Slovenia with some amazing carp and even better scenery. The lake we went to, well, it was right next door to Lake Bled, the infamous Lake Bled with the lovely church in the middle, but we had an even better bit of scenery to be fair. A massive lake, Lake Bear, awesome scenery. I mean, when I can't put it into words how beautiful it was, every morning waking up to the most idyllic sunsets I've ever seen. But anyway, we massive car journey on the way down there, 30 hours it took us to get there, including traffic and stops. We took the little dog along with us as well. Which in hindsight probably shouldn't have done because of the heat. It was so hot, I mean dangerous at times, that we just had to stay out, get in the lake, cool down, just relax a bit. And you'll see that later on in the video. I explain how, it's times like this we need to look after yourselves as well, especially in the climate that we were in. But anyway, Lake Bear. It was an awesome lake, and in a country where bears are the highest population, so it was really exciting. Something I'd never done before. And the lake had been described to us as Brasenose on steroids, it was constant spotting, big carp, perfect. Well, we were on our way to this massive public lake, and let me just tell you a bit about the journey. It was horrendous. It took us about 30 hours to get there, getting caught in traffic in places like Germany and France, and the aircon had broken the week before, so it was so hot. I mean, you can imagine how disgusting it was in the van. But anyway, I took that time to tie up a few rigs, get a bit prepared and psych myself up really, ready to hit the lake hard. So as it was my birthday trip and a reward for doing so well on my GCSEs, I got first pick of the swims, and so I chose a little kind of corner really, behind a couple of islands, because I've been told by a few of the locals that it doesn't do as many fish, but the fish it does are a lot bigger. Anyway, the dad's up next to me for a bit of a social, and I love fishing with dad, so that was perfect. And then Dylan and Chris couldn't get in their swims right away, so they had to wait a night. So they only managed to fish 5 nights during this week-long period, whereas my dad's fished 6. Bear that in mind for the amount of fish we caught. So we got there, the sun was just setting, and we managed to get a slight glimpse of the lake. Nothing special really. Dogs come to join me. It was getting dark, we thought we'd just throw the beds out and sleep under the stars really, nothing major. We couldn't really do anything in that sort of lighting conditions. And like I say, I was so excited, so the filming kind of slipped from my mind. I kind of just want to get fishing, So anyway, we set up the next morning, looking out on the horizon, and we can see them, a couple of them showing. Look really far out, I mean over 60 foot of water, unfishable conditions really. And we had a guy there, Frank, who really did help us out. One of the locals fishes there quite a bit with him and his friends, and he was telling us that we don't have to fish that far out. I think we're fishing 9 and a bit wraps, spotting constantly, and like I say, it absolutely kicked off. Have a look at some of these fish. So this takes us after a couple of days of catching carp constantly really. The fish were evidently in front of Dad's swim, and I expected it to be slow in the swim I chose. I was told that, but I didn't expect it to be that slow, everyone else started catching, and my bites weren't materialising really. So Dad asked me to come join him in his swim, and we'd really buddy up for a session. And do you know what, it was really good fun. It's been a long time since we really like slept in like the same bivvy and that, you know, since I was a little kid. So yeah, that was really nice doing that, and I really enjoyed my week. But yeah, straight away Dad really got off to a great start. I mean, he had 30s and 40-pound carp coming left, right and centre. He could not keep a rod in the water. Spotting constantly, like I say, at 9.5 wraps I think it was, so not far, but the fish were absolutely loving it. We were fishing kind of over a hump onto a plateau, and so obviously every fish is just bow down straight into the deep water, and so there were some awesome fights. But yeah, have a look at a few more fish that we caught. It really did kick off for us then. This takes us up to day 4, where, to be fair, something absolutely special happened. So I wake up in the morning, really daisy-eyed, to Dad screaming and cheering as he gets a fish in the net. So I'm wandering out the bivvy, really like quite startled really. I was really tired after spotting a lot, and I really needed that rest because obviously we were getting none during the day due to the heat. And it was bright sunny day, so obviously I couldn't really tell the time or whatever. So I'm looking in this net, and this colossal common carp has just rolled over. And Dad's had what they call, I think it's Scar, a 61 pound 8, a new PB, and an absolutely ace carp to match. It blew any other carp we had caught out of the water, and he really did deserve it. He fished absolutely superb, and that was the icing on the cake really. And well, after celebrating a little while and then getting the rods back out and chilling really, the action kind of died off for a couple hours during the peak of the day. And I remember rightly seeing one show, and then a massive fizz of bubbles. I was like, oh okay, they're back then, for sure. And then it was my turn to have some action, so my rod's gone screaming off. I remember Dad saying to me as I'm playing this fish, oh, if it's actually a big one, I'll jump in and try and net it. And before he could say that, this massive, colossal common carp again pops his head out, and he's gone diving straight in the lake with the net, ready to net his carp for me. You know, the old wobbly knees and this stripping loads of line, and I'm trying to keep it away from the snags, but it's absolutely, well, that's why we go fishing, isn't it, for moments like that. So I'm playing this carp and it's just plodding around really, he's pretty much beaten. Finally got his head up and he slipped into the net. And I myself had a PB as well. A 50 pound 1 ounce, a beautiful carp called Bobble. Another common, like I say, but it was just the perfect shape, the perfect colour. It was just an immaculate carp, and I'm so glad it went in my net.
bucket. Smash that.
So after the excitement and jubilation of catching those 2 PBs at once really, I went over to check on the other guys, Chris and Dylan, to see how they were getting on, and they too had been absolutely hauling. But to be fair, they were having a lot of the smaller stock, and I say small, they were catching 20s and 30s, which you wouldn't turn your nose at. But every time they caught a 40 pounder it was a really big carp, whereas me and Dad were just seeming to get through to the bigger ones and not really many of the small ones. We were chinning back 30 pounders. It sounds criminal to say that now, but no, everyone was really enjoying themselves, sunning themselves in the heat. Lots of water was drunk, obviously, because of how hot it was, and it was just an awesome time. So I just wanted to mention how great they were getting on as well. I think they genuinely caught more carp than us, but just of a smaller stamp, like I say. Well, we're now up to date during the time we've spent on the Bear Lake, and it takes us up to our final chapter really, final leg of our incredible Slovenian adventure. I spoke to Frank after walking through the town getting a few supplies and stumbling across some incredible carp in the town centre on a moat that surrounds the church. Some awesome commons, some massive mirrors just swimming around, loving life in the weed and the cabbages that live in the water. And the pedestrians just don't know what they've got there. There's some just incredible fishing to be had, and it's all free and public. So I spoke to Frank and we managed to get it all sorted, get everything done. And we had a few recce's around the river during the night time, seeing what we could see, putting some bait in, getting ready for one big hit really, try and catch one. There's carp up to 22 kilos in there. Also, that's what Frank knows of anyway, and there's obviously mysteries and stuff like that people don't know. So I was really excited, and a river carp from Slovenia of any size is just the cherry on top from catching so many beautiful carp. Anyway, we managed to get down there, and as we're driving down, Frank's telling me how this forest holds a massive number of bears, and there's a bridge going from the forest into the village or the town that we were staying really, like where the lake was. And apparently they crossed the bridge to go raid the bins and stuff like that. So that really got the heart racing, waking up really early, hoping to try and see one of these massive bears. Anyway, we're driving along the bridge and Frank stops in the side of the road, and I wonder what he's doing. And he stopped and pulled the car over, and he's got out and picked up a bear claw. And now it was absolutely massive. I mean, it must have been the size of the dog's paw. It was absolutely huge. And that was quite scary really, but quite exciting, It made the fishing a bit more intense and a bit more enjoyable. So after that quick pit stop, we managed to get down to our swims and saw a few carp. And now they weren't the big ones that we had seen previously. There was a few smaller mirrors, a few commons, and a couple koi as well. However, you know, that didn't fuss me, that didn't faze me at all. I mean, just catching one of these carp and seeing them was incredible. So we flicked the rods out. I think I was using little wafters, tiny little wafters with PVA bags. And yeah, what happened next was incredible.
Carp.
Yeah. You see around. Nice. You'll be coming out or you'll become fast.
Yeah.
Give him more, give him.
Not in yet. I slipped as I was running.
You hurt yourself?
No. Beautiful. Not to the way.
Oh, special talent.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Come on now. Smaller river, no?
Get his head up.
Well done!
Yes!
Brilliant, well done. That's superb. My God, it's gorgeous. Look at it. Look at his little face. Yes.
So that rounds off an incredible adventure, like I say, to Slovenia, the land of absolute chunks, and I will certainly be back to that river, hoping to try and catch one of them massive carp. Anyway, I hope you have enjoyed this video. Remember guys, to stay safe and stay at home. This is a serious pandemic and we need to get over this. I hope you really did enjoy this video. Please subscribe and like the video.